Hey everybody, it's 7 o'clock. And if there's anything we are at Rail Moments, it's punctual. Right, Mike?
Oh, absolutely.
Never a question.
Yeah, we live on punctual, especially in the morning.
Yeah, no kidding. I love mornings. So, welcome to Rail Moments. This is our video podcast. We got Mike here in the studio. I'm Casey. I'm the editor-in-chief here at Rail Moments, aka the guy who does the studio stuff.
The guy that brought Mike into the 21st century.
Well, slowly. I mean, somebody had to do it.
Yeah,
Might
we're
as well
still
be
doing
me.
it.
We got some stuff planned for you today. One thing we are going to go through is an event that some of you may have heard about. Many of you have not. We're also going to wrap up the short that began on Sunday. We are not doing any user submissions, so be not afraid. Oh, forgot to turn Mike's light on. There we go, Mike.
Oh, there I am. I thought it was dark over here.
Out of the darkness. He has seen the light. So, we are currently moving over some of that footage. It's 95% complete, but we are going to make the Sunday night production of the Top Cat train. We're going to put that one up. We're going to edit some thumbnails. We're going to do various things this weekend, tonight, and walk you through some of the production. And again, there will be no submissions from users, not until Sunday. That's when they officially are due. So if you have catches of the week to put through, you can still do so. We're not going through any of that tonight. But the reason why we're doing this in the studio, to be quite honest, is because it's 96 degrees outside. And we thought air conditioning is our friend. And because this is midweek, I'm not wearing a hat. So this is, for those of you that wondered, is Casey bald? Is that why he's always wearing a hat? No, I am distinctly unbald. I have lots of hair. I just, on the weekends and trackside, it's good to have a hat on. That's what I normally do. All right, so we are going to begin real quick by going through what we did on Sunday. And that was we created this little video. Watch it real quick.
Look! It's Top Cat!
He just said the magic word.
And there you go. Hopefully that makes enough sense to viewers when they see it. They think, oh, they've caught that thing twice, that same car. So I don't know if I should spell it out anymore. Mike, what are your thoughts?
I think you have to spell it out.
Do you? Okay. In that case, I'll put caught it twice. So we'll put that in text real quick.
And was it 2 years apart? I know it was a long time apart.
Well, you get to do some math, Mike.
Uh-oh.
Yep. June 19th to September 29th. So that's 9, let's see, July, August, September. So that's 9 months plus 12. That's 21 months apart.
And I remembered that long.
You can be taught. Caught twice. 21 months apart. We can do our best to center it. The problem with Premiere is that the centering doesn't snap to a grid like it does on Photoshop, even though they're both Adobe products. But that's how it be. 21 months apart. There we go. So I'm going to drag this up slightly so I can view more of what's happening here. And there's the thing, the text. I'm going to copy that one. And since Mike thinks we should spell it out, we will spell it out. Then we're going to rewatch it, we're going to render it, and we're going to drop it in. That's how we're starting today, is we're going to let you guys get a preview of what's happening. So here we go, Mike.
Look! It's Top Cat!
He just said the magic word.
All right, the problem is the second time, it kind of is over the top of Top Cat a little bit. So we're going to actually move that second one up here. So, down there, Okay, so we're going to export this video real quick. So we are going to not use the media tool because it's not necessary. We're going to change location here. And we actually had one. There it is. June 22nd, Top Cat. Surprisingly, we did not get any copyright strikes for Top Cat. I guess it's probably out of copyright by this point. However, we played an intro to the Southern video, and we got a copyright strike for that. So if you watch back Sunday's live, I had to mute out the audio of the intro music from the Southern video because that song we used at that time, you had to individually license to the video. So we were able to do that at the time, but you can't attach the license to something's playing during a live. That's one of the annoying idiosyncrasies of the YouTubes, but that's how it is. So we did get that annoying little strike, but you know, okay. Hopefully, when you see it now, it will be edited out. But yeah, what we're doing here is we are just going to export this video, so it has all the settings. This is a 4K video. It's being encoded in H.264, so if you're really a video nerd or you have your own channel, that's the codec that we're using here. We have tried 265. 265 has been problematic for us for a couple of reasons, so we're not really doing that one anymore. We reverted back to 264. I'm just going to encode this sequence real quick, and you can see the little progress bar going across the screen. And it's done. So we are going to schedule that real quick. But in the process, we are also going to edit some of the thumbnails. So let's go back to our content and then our lives. We have to edit some of the thumbnails. So you can see this is our current live running off streaming software. So is the other one. That was hard to figure out how to do. To run 2 concurrent lives on the same channel from OBS in 2 different places. That was harder than it should have been. But we're going to upload the content here on the channel, and then we're going to update some of these thumbnails, and then we're going to show you the little secret squirrel project that I've been working on, and I'll show you part of why it was so difficult. If I can get those files to load, I think I probably can, but you're going to watch me struggle for a minute. You're going to really hear the computer struggling. So we're going to upload a short. And it's going to be slightly confused when we do this. It's going to struggle. The computer is really going to struggle. And then YouTube's about to struggle on this one because we are uploading a horizontal video, Top Cat Final, as a short. And actually, before I load that, we should probably watch this clip. So make sure that nothing happened in the rendering. So here's the final.
Look! It's Top Cat!
He just said the magic word.
Now, for those of you following along at home, you'll see that this is much lower quality than the later ones. So see how that car is not in like perfect crisp focus, but if you look over here, it's just Discovery Channel perfect. You can see every dimple, every ding in the car. So there's a reason. So even though we've scaled these, the original footage, remember YouTube will not let you broadcast a live in 4K. So this is, I think, 720p that we have upscaled. And so this car is rather grainy. There's nothing different. It's even the same recording device. The difference is if it's live or if it's in the studio. So that's why our really important stuff like heritages that we catch for the first time, we always do them in what we call production. We are actually recording it and putting it out later. Mike, don't forget, you are the voice of the people. So if you want to give shout outs or tell us who's joining or if anybody's asking questions, I am not going to be reading the comments tonight. So Mike is the voice of y'all.
So much pressure.
So much pressure. It's almost like editing video while people watch you around the nation. So anyway, that one rendered fine. So we're good. We're going to bring in that file. And so YouTube has this weird thing where if you put out shorts, it will render it as a short, and that's how it knows what to do with it. If it's short and it's a vertical video, it'll do it automatically. Since this is a horizontal video, we're going to try to convince it to render it that way. So we're going to see how this goes. I've only done this once, and it's been some time, and YouTube changes things a lot. We're going to find out. So Top Cat caught again. Now we could put in more info, but this gets, when you're watching a short, it's really compressed at the bottom of the video, so we're not going to say very much. We're just going to say and then we are going to have to do an auto-generated thumbnail, because the thumbnail really shouldn't be used on a short, but since it's a horizontal video, it is trying to force that. And I don't even know if this is going to work, to be honest. We're going to find out. If it doesn't work, we'll delete it and we'll do it again.
Doesn't sound fair.
I know. It's not even found, it hasn't even found the generated thumbnail.
So we're trying to squeeze it into upright instead of left to right.
Mm-hmm. And so I could force this, right? There we go. It found a thumbnail. So it made an auto-generated one. We're going to try and force this to go out that way. I don't know if this is going to work vertical video or not. So what I think we're going to do is schedule it for right now, and then we'll look at it and see. I'll drop the link here in the chat, and we will carry on with the other settings. We are certifying that we did not curse or do anything bad. Everything that we were doing that's not safe for YouTube, we did right before we went live tonight. There are no music licenses to have to add. There are no real subtitles required. It will probably, where Mike says, look, it's Top Cat, it will most likely auto-generate those. And I can try and see if it will auto-generate them, but it doesn't want to. It's going to, yeah, we'll do auto-sync. But it's going to try and do AI to read it, so we're not doing that, actually. We're just going to skip subtitles on a short. And then there are no copyright issues. So there was nothing found. Again, we got our strike on Sunday, but nothing from this. So we should be good. We can make this public. And I'm going to cough real quick, so bear with me. All right, so we're going to make this public right now, and then I'll give you guys the link here in the chat. And we're going to see if it shows up as a short. Will this play vertical video or not? And if it won't, then we're going to delete it, and we're going to try it again.
All that work just to delete it, huh?
Yep. So here's the link. It's now in the chat. You guys should be seeing it right around the time I said I would drop it in there, so waited a few seconds to put it in. Mike, why don't you do the honors? You want to load that on your phone, and let's see if it's vertical?
Okie dokie. Go to YouTube.
You should just be able to tap the link and see what it does from the link that I put in the chat.
I got out of the chat and went all the way to Real Moments.
Mike's doing it the hard way. He's on hard mode tonight.
Yeah, I'm still dragging along in the 20th century. Let's see, I don't go to lives, I go to shorts. All I see is the Hail one last.
Oh, Hail, H-A-I-L. He does not see it. So it's in the shorts playlist, but it didn't show up as a short. So no, that did not work, and he's correct. On shorts, it did not take it. Now, if we go to our playlists, and then we look at our shorts, it's probably in here. Whoops. Oh, no, that was it. That was the right one. Let me click shorts again, and then videos, and it, nope, it didn't. There it is. It's at the bottom. So it did come out, but it's not playing because it's a horizontal video. So we are going to delete that video.
It did go to the bottom.
Yep, I'm delete this video. It's permanent. I'm going to lose it forever.
No.
Sadness. Goodbye. Okay, so that deleted video is now here, and we're going to remove a reference to it. And it's removed.
How do we fix it?
therein lies the reason why I was going to do this live. So, I'm going to move it back over. We're going to have to change this thing to a vertical video. Now, here's why I think this could go wrong and why I didn't do this the first time. I sized all this text and the videos and everything to match up horizontally because that's how they were recorded. But what we're going to have to do is change our sequence settings. And as a matter of fact, we're going to save this first. And I'm going to save a vertical one in case this goes really, really wrong. We are going to change the sequence settings and we're going to reverse the horizontal and the vertical. We're going to type in the dimensions for 4K vertical. And it's going to delete all the previews, and there it goes. So the problem is, like I said, the words. The words are in the wrong spot, and they're the wrong size. So now we're going to move these up close and down closer to the text. Reason being, when you are, it's more or less centered. That's slightly off. Probably close enough. So there, when you're watching a short, most of this down here is the description and the channel name, etc. And there's a channel logo over here, and there's like a follow link. So if you put text low on a short, it no worky. That's the official term. It no worky. So this, now it's too high, right? So we're going to drop this text, and we're going to have to rescale it. See how that's huge? As a matter of fact, that's probably going to be about the right position for it. Because when we rescale this video, it's going to be in a different place than it is here. So we're going to take this clip, and we are going to scale. We're going to fit to the frame. See what I mean? So the text is moved relative to the video because now the video is zoomed in. Let's try this again. Let's see what it looks like now.
Look, it's Top Cat.
He just said the magic word.
All right, now there's a new short. And that seemed to work okay. So we're actually going to save that as Top Cat vertical. And we've saved that file. We're going to deselect everything. We're going to try and export this again. And this, if you ever wondered, why does Casey cry? These kind of things are why Casey cries. So it previously would let you do a vertical video as a short, and it would automatically process it. That does not appear to be the case anymore, and part of that's because YouTube used to rely just on the shorts hashtag. But when they changed the maximum limit of shorts from 59 seconds to 3 minutes and did all the other stuff that YouTube did, it changed, apparently, the fact that it picks up shorts from the hashtag. So, I'm going to pretend it's the phone.
It's Top Cat.
He just said the magic word.
Not bad, not bad. Now, there is another thing we can do. You'll see this happen a lot, where there's like the video. I think TikTok, even though I don't use TikTok, I think it does do this, where it kind of shadows the video behind itself so that people don't see just the black square around it. They see the motion. You see this a lot on the news as well. If you see somebody who's sharing a video on the news, you'll see it presented this way as well. So we're actually going to make a copy of the video. We're going to unlink the video from the audio so we don't end up moving both. And we are going to, I think it's the control key. Yep, nope, that was absolutely wrong. Shift key, nope, also wrong. Alt key? The Alt key. If you hold down Alt and drag something, it makes a copy of it. So now we have a video and a video. So why does that make any sense? It doesn't. What we're going to do is we're going to scale. And we're going to switch these videos, actually. Scaled the wrong one. So now it's a video over a video. And so when this one's playing, it's playing also behind it, right? But it looks weird because they're both sharp, right? So the one in the background, we're going to make this much, much darker. So it's like an echo. And we're also going to try to blur this a bit. This will probably work. We're going to go to our effect controls and we're going to decide how much to blur it. So the blurriness be pretty blurry. So let's go with like a 20%. So when we play it, there's like an echo of it going behind. Okay? We're going to do the same thing over here. So we have this video now playing behind it. So we're going to filter frame. Nope, that did not appear to... Oh, I know why. It's because there's an effect on that one. We're going to take that effect off of it. I've got the clock wipe. And I prevented that from working, so let's try this again. Okay, now it worked. We're going to do basically the same thing. We're going to drop a Gaussian blur on that. We're going to set this to 20. And then, I don't remember how dark we made it. Exposure was -3. So over here, we're going to do exposure to -3. And now, let's watch this one.
Look, it's Top Cat.
He just said the magic word.
All right, and that's how that works. You'll see people doing that echo a lot. Some video, like I said, I think it's TikTok does that automatically. We're going to call this one Top Cat Vertical Echo, because that's what I call that effect. I don't know what it's really called. And we're going to export that thing. So now we should have our official final video, the little video echo in the background, and then it will look natural to people who are used to seeing the square video reflected as a vertical video. I'm sorry, a landscape as a vertical. And let's take a look at it.
Look, it's Top Cat.
He just said the magic word.
There you go. So I kind of hate that we had to take the clock wipe effect out of it, but I didn't want to echo Top Cat, and because I think it loses the effect there. You know, it's kind of classic television. It's right in the middle of the screen. Everything makes sense. We didn't want it to be really distracting. So I didn't want to try and apply the clock wipe effect. That's hard to say. To both videos to make that work out. So we just didn't. So now we have the video complete. We know that it worked, and we're going to try and get YouTube to take it this time.
I used to have that problem trying to say subscribe.
Subscribe. Like and subscribe.
What were those words again, Casey? Like and subscribe, Mike. Okay, let me write that down.
I love the bloopers. We can't even I can't even play the blooper video because we'll get a copyright strike for that too.
No kidding.
Yep. Because when I do the drone crash, the second segment has the audio kicks in right there. I could mute that part, I guess, but yeah.
Drone down.
Drone down.
Casey fixed the drone that day with a lighter and a pin.
At a Mexican restaurant.
Yes, while eating lunch. He wasn't happy, but he did eat his lunch. Came on the radio that day and he was not happy.
I was not. I probably said a few things that were not YouTube approved over the radio.
That was the day we got FCC strikes.
If they'd been listening,
yes.
They would not have been impressed with my language. What? That was not a CSX you caught, right? That was Norfolk Southern?
Yes, that's on Norfolk Southern train.
Both times, because the first time was
Yep.
the Southern. And then we'll do rail fans, and maybe people will see it. So the thumbnails don't do a whole lot. I mean, not the thumbnails, the hashtags don't do a whole lot. There's a reason for that. And YouTube doesn't want to be thumbnail reliant, but it does use thumbnails for certain types of discovery, especially if the words are hard to pronounce or hard for YouTube to understand from the context of the video. we're going to throw them in just in case. And now we have to resubmit our rating. We have to say that it looks like it's uploading a short. All of your shorts are automatically considered for shorts ad revenue sharing. So, Mike, we should go ahead and tell our audience about how much we make off of shorts in a month. Our total revenue from shorts in a whole month is about 4 cents.
I thought it was 6.
Maybe 6 cents. I mean, we're pretty big now. We've got a couple thousand subscribers. So if you're like, man, there are ads, they must be making money off these ads.
I found more than that on the parking lot today.
We do get our primary source of revenue is the change that Mike finds on the side of the tracks. Actually, I think the amount of money we make in a month would almost cover your gas to Dalton and back once in production unit 6, because that thing's a V8 and it's 4-wheel drive.
That's because you talked me into getting a V8.
It is most best for long term.
Yes, and speeding tickets.
Mike got a super speeder ticket trying to catch a train. He learned about Georgia's super speeder program.
But I did get to have an intervention.
He did. He got to go explain to the judge just how important it was that he catch that train.
And Tony, yes, I tried trading a couple of shirts. It didn't work.
All right, so we're going to make this public, and we're going to try this again now. So I'm going to share this with you guys again in the chat. We're going to click publish, and then I'm going to zip over here, and I'm going to share it here in just a minute. And I can see that you guys are talking, and Mike is not telling me what you said. So, hey, Mike, you're the voice of the people.
Which part do you want to know? Right now they're telling me I made it to be Elmer Fudd.
All right, and it is Tara, is that right?
It is Tara,
Doggone it.
not Tara. It is Tara. It is confirmed. There is no question. And if you
I'm going to go
spell
back and watch that video, because when I talked to her on the live, I could have sworn she said it was Tara, because I've like programmed my head as Tara, and I retrained Mike. And we did this whole Sunday live, and I know, Tara, that you were working and you couldn't get out until 8, but hopefully you watched that replay, because us discussing your name pronunciation and then learning later that I was factually incorrect has to be amusing. So anyway, there's the link. Let's try it. Mike, fire up the phone. Click on the link in the chat. Let's see what happens.
It's working. It's working.
Ta-da! Nice. All right, so it worked. And if you guys feel so inclined and you want to watch it and like it, Tara says that she did watch it. Yeah, kid, we are seeking air conditioning today, man. Let me tell you. All right, let's see how it appears in our playlist. And yep, there it is. Some of our shorts have done pretty well. We've had 352,000 views and 532 comments on this one here, which I guess I could play for you guys. I think it'll play if I just click it. See what happens. Nope, hold on. So that was from a woman who posted it on Facebook. We took that down. But this is all Mike's filming. This was right by Mike's house. This is the crossing right just like 3 miles from Mike's house, really close. So he went down there and filmed the rest of it. And I was traveling for work, but I had my laptop with me, and I was in South Carolina. I remember distinctly. I was at a Hampton Inn in South Carolina, and I said, Mike, get there now. So he went there and filmed it. I put this together in my hotel room. We put it out that night. And nobody was really injured, so we did confirm that before we put it out. The engineers did take a ride to the hospital, but it wasn't any serious injury. I think it was just them falling forward. Nothing really bad happened, so we went ahead and posted that. But that got 352,000 views, which I think means we made like $2, something like that. It was a really, really highly profitable video.
But that was our beginning.
That was.
That's
so
where we kind of started.
I make light of it, but we did get, I think, like 800 subscribers from that.
It got us on the map.
It did. So monetization in YouTube is stupid. It's the short version. We we did get to 1,000 subscribers, which is one of the levels of YouTube. And then you also have to have 1,000 watch hours within, I think it's a month or something. So we hit the subscribers like immediately, you know, because that video did super well. And then it took us another like year and a half to get 1,000 hours in a month. And we've been monetized for a year. And then Mike and I make about total revenue. This is not net revenue. This is total YouTube ad revenue. We make about $40 a month.
We might break 50 this month.
We might break 50. You never know. And we are, I think, in the top 4% of YouTubers. So when you see things like Mr. Beast will spend $7 million on a video and his videos bring in many millions, he's number one in YouTube. And so the top like 0.01% of YouTube are what makes most of the money. I think we are in the top 4% of channels, and we're making about $40 a month. So.
And how long ago was the crash?
Oh, the crash video. We put that up.
Yeah,
Yep,
the one.
hang on. I got the answer. That was February 28th, 2023.
So they just fixed the sidewalk at that crossing so you can use the sidewalk again.
Yeah, a lot of people complained, actually, that were watching this, said, why didn't the guy just move? So I'm going to point that out real quick. I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to show you the following video. This one says context. I'm going to show you why the guy did what he did. So the truck driver was actually pretty smart. If you watch him running in the beginning, here's the truck driver. Right here, he's doing a thing. He's actually pulling the pin to disconnect the trailer from the lowboy. And so when they hit it, it rips the trailer off his truck and does not flip his truck over. So what exactly happened? Well, there's a couple of things. That crossing is a bear, which we'll show in the context. This is a rental. That's from Sunbelt Rentals in Ringgold, Georgia. Or I guess it used to be. I don't think the thing exists anymore. So this poor guy had rented this excavator. Is going to a job site, right? So what happened? Why did he not move off the tracks? Why was that guy so dumb? Well, he actually did the best he could with the situation. But here is what this crossing really looks like. So there's the same crossing that we were just talking about. It's from the other side. Mike filmed this later, and actually a lowboy got stuck while Mike was filming on the same crossing, but he managed to drag it off of there. So people get stuck here constantly because there's a pretty big change in elevation. But that's what it is. So the siding track is slightly lower. It hits him there. But you saw how quickly it comes around, right? We're 29 seconds in. So there's you don't even see the train yet. Can't even really hear it. So the crossing guard, gates and everything come around. Then there's the horn. So we're at the 6-second mark right now. So the crossing arms have been down for about 5 seconds before the video begins, because I remember editing this. And right there, it hits the excavator. So it was about 31 seconds from when he realized, oops, and he's already out of the truck, and he's trying to figure out what can he do. Can he inflate the bags or whatever? And then CSX plows him like a fallow field. So he didn't have a lot of time, is the short version. So yes, it's a difficult crossing. No, the railroad was there a long time before there's a train coming. That's why I switched over to this. We're going to watch and see what comes around the corner by the studio real quick. So yeah, he didn't have a lot of time. It was a quick transition from oops to expensive. So we just had something interesting come through yesterday. A 1950 Pullman car came through. Mike, is that the same one they're using for that bed and breakfast, or was that a different one?
I have no idea where it's going or where it came from.
You can hear it
ended
now.
up there.
Yeah, you can hear it now on the bird cam. So you can hear there's a delay. So I've told you guys before, but if you're just tuning in, we are a few hundred feet from the bird cam, and so we can hear them before you can hear them on the bird cam. Plus, there's a little bit of a delay, but the delay is less than part of it's just the distance. You can see the camera's shaking. That's a good indication that it's getting close. The camera's shaking because of the train. People have asked, why is the camera shaking? Why does it always seem to shake? The train shakes the entire ground around that area. But anyway, when the Pullman car came by, we learned, and unfortunately, it came by while Ray and I were changing the camera to the new camera. Sounds like it's going to be a southbound from what I can hear through my headphones from outside. And we'll see how long it takes to end up on the camera. Oh, since Mike's not reading it, kid, he says he snapped a picture of the old coach car as it passed by the house here. I'm going to keep making fun of Mike for this until I guilt him into reading.
See, kid, I stop for I'm watching the train, and then you get me in trouble.
I'm just saying, he has one job. That, again, the camera shake is from the train. We actually have tried to apply some stabilization stuff to it. We're going to have to do some more work on this new camera. The old one was stabilized better. This one's shaking a whole lot more. But that's how much it shakes if we don't stabilize the video. It shakes the entire planet around it. Alright, so we got 1, 2... Oh, it's got a red... Oh, hey! That's... Mike, that's the... Why does it have a red side? That's a Heritage. It was red and white on the side. What CSX Heritage is red and white on the sides?
Well, 911's red and white.
No, this is CSX.
There's a 911 CSX.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, I do have one of the Rail Event shirts, by the way. Mike did make a production. He gave me one at dinner. If you guys can tell me which CSX Heritage is red and white on the sides, I cannot recall. I'm going to try and look it up real quick. See if you guys beat me.
Hey,
Oh, that's it. That was, okay, so Pearson Photography has a photo. That is the Western Maryland.
Tony said somebody said something about the Western Maryland coming earlier.
Yep, so Mike, if you want to report that, we just caught the Western Maryland on the camera. CSX 1852 just went by live, and that is southbound from the 122.8 milepost, and it came by at about 7:37 p.m. There you go. See, we're paying attention.
Was it leading?
No, it was second. Second position. And it is... Oh, that's a previous train. That was a coal train. I just happened to bump the video to a spot where there was another train earlier.
So what's the time on camera?
7:37, 1937, if you're militarying.
Yep.
And then let's see, I remember that the red railing was forward. Let me look up that one again. CSX, Western Maryland. So if you guys are following along in the Heritage app, you'll see Mike's report. And so the railing is on the front. So I think that's actually nose forward, which is weird. I don't know. That's not possible, right? Surely I'm thinking of that wrong. Well, I wouldn't put the orientation unless you need to.
I just put it went past and it's going southbound.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, sorry for that aside.
It was last reported in Cowan at 6 hours ago.
Oh, and Tony says it was him who said he was giving everybody a heads up.
So it went to Waxahachie and has moved on.
All right. Well, it is now on the way to Daltonians. The next stop, well, you'll see it in Ringgold here in 8 minutes.
8 to 12.
Yeah.
He rolls on.
8 to 12 minutes will be in Ringgold, and then
15 minutes to Tunnel Hill.
Yep.
And 15 minutes to Dalton.
There you go. So 45 minutes to Dalton, if you guys are keeping track for the home game. Okay, so that short is out. Anyway, as I was saying before we heard a train, if you guys do watch and like the short. That is helpful. Part of what YouTube does to determine if something's popular is how much engagement does it get when it first played, and also does somebody watch the entire thing through, which is why you'll see some people who are playing games with YouTube, they will launch by saying something in the beginning like a statement, and at the end you'll hear them say, and that's why, and then they'll cut back to the very beginning so that when you're watching it, you don't quite realize it's actually just looped and has gone back through. So they're doing a loop on purpose to try and make you watch more than 100% of the video. And it's a little trick. I don't play those tricks typically. Actually, I never have, but we are aware of them. We prefer to be a little bit more honest with the viewers, and but that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to game the output. Okay, so Top Cat is up. We are going to start on a new vertical. So let's open a project. We're going to open the heritage in the Hail. And we're going to do that because it has the graphics and everything I want. And there is a new short that my wife recorded outside of Atlanta. This is in Woodstock, Georgia. And this is her raw video that I had her send me. Right through the middle of town. And this is a short line. So that's the Columbia something. We're going to have to zoom in and read exactly what it says. Then the Patriot Rail. And then I can't even read what that one says. These are various Columbia and Coweta, I think is what it says. So we're going to zoom in the software because I'm not even sure what all we've seen here. So we're going to take a look. And we're going to read exactly what we've got, but there's a short line, she called in Woodstock, going right downtown. And I thought, hey, that's neat. We're going to use that. So we're going to make a new file. And this one is in Shorts Live, and we'll call it Woodstock Short Line. And we're going to pick up this footage. So we're going to delete the old footage completely. We're going to leave the graphics intact. And we're going to go back and find our media browser.
Everybody's buzzing in from everywhere.
Oh, yeah?
I can't answer all the phones quick enough.
Oh, there it is. Short line. Mike is trying to get to you. If you are talking to Mike, he's trying. Okay, so here's the Top Cat project, and so we need to actually find that short line video. Where did I move that to? I must have hidden it from myself. I'm good at that. Bear with me 1 second for this riveting moment of YouTube content where I look for the file I just gave myself.
And while you do that, one fan is racing to Tunnel Hill right now.
Good.
It just wanted to make sure we knew what we thought we saw. No confidence.
Well, if not, we can delete it from the Heritage app. But if it's true, you better give us a shout out on the Heritage Units app. That's all I'm saying. It's not a threat, just pointing out.
Just a point.
Just a point. All right, so we've imported this Woodstock train clip, and here it is. And we are going to scale this thing to fit the frame. And there we are. Now, let's see if I can freeze on each one of these units and see what we're working with. So we're going to play.
Can you read the names on?
I'm about to. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to export a screenshot of this. And we're going to put it into this folder. I'm exporting that frame, and we're calling it number 1. Because I am imaginative.
Gee, Casey, there's 2 heritage units past the bird cam in an hour apart.
I
Or
know.
so.
Yeah.
And kid, you better get that camera ready. I'll give you another submission for Sunday.
Yeah. So, I could have sworn. Let me look at that again. Oh, I know why. I put it in the wrong folder. Figures. It's my first day.
Do you need my help?
There's more pressure than you would think. Oh, there's another amusing thing. This is a little nugget. So this truck right here, see this truck? That is a Roush F-250, and I recognize this because,
You had one.
tell me if this looks familiar, and this right here. Even the same wheels.
I drove that truck. Well, you owned it.
You did drive that truck. So that's the exact same truck, which I think is funny. It might even be the actual truck. I don't know. But I say that because I was browsing for this photo I just took. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's that truck. Okay, screenshot. So here we are. We're going to zoom in and look and see what we have. Because they don't trust us for the Western Maryland Heritage Unit. We're really going to have to dig deep to make sure this is what we saw in this one.
We'll know before long.
Mm-hmm.
Warren is on the path.
Rail Moments Shorts Live. Okay. I finally found where I hid them from myself. So here is the first one. This is a screenshot. It says Columbia and Cowlitz Railway. Cowlitz. I don't even know what the heck that is, so hold on.
Has anyone ever heard of it?
Columbia and Cowlitz Railway. Yep, Google has. And it's based in Longview, Washington. Holy cow. And it is part of the Patriot Rail Company.
And it's a long ways from home.
So, Longview, Washington. Gosh, yes. And that's part of the BNSF UP group, but apparently it is a short line of theirs. I just bonked my mouse adjustment. You guys probably saw that on screen. I bonked my mouse to the wrong DPI level. See if I can fix that for myself. There we go. Back to normal. Nope. Yeah, it's still a little slow. That'll work. Okay. So this is the Patriot Rail Line. And they have 31.3 track miles, but they appear to have a Patriot Railhead in Marietta. Interesting.
Well, that would explain why it's here.
Yeah,
What a small world.
I know. And then something in Chattanooga, Blue Ridge Scenic Railway is part of their Patriot Rail system.
That's crazy.
So Blue Ridge and Marietta are married by that. Plus, this is like Jackson, Mount Pleasant. Okay, I know where Mount Pleasant is. I've driven through there. So yeah, that's cool. That's what we saw. So the Columbia and Cowlitz Railway, that's what we're seeing here. So now when we see Patriot Rail, I'm going to actually identify this on the screen because nobody is going to understand what that says. And we're going to delete this text here because that's the one that says it's sped up 3 times, but it's not. So we're going to put this text on the screen. We're going to move this slightly up so I've got more room to work with my text here. Cowlitz. That's hard to... Columbia and Cowlitz Railway. All right, let's work on this text a bit. Well, that's probably the right distance. And then we're going to try and edit the settings. Nope, I can't remember how we edit the... So that's in my Lumetric color. There we go. Font size. All right, so that one goes by. She moves back, and there's Patriot Rail comes into frame. So we know that we Alt to copy because we just remembered that. Patriot Rail is the same thing, the same company, but they identify it differently. So are we. We're going to help the audience read along to what they're saying here. That one does not say the same thing. That says Georgia Northeastern, I think. So, let's see where we stopped seeing the previous one. So that one changes like right there. I'm going to have to make another screenshot because I can't even read what that says exactly, but I think it says Georgia Northeastern. So let's make another shot here. Export that frame. Yeah, Georgia Northeastern. Unit 2000. Gosh, that's seen some years on it. Anybody know what kind of locomotive that is? Old? Is that like an
Just sent that note
SD40
to
or
AGS.
probably an SD40 or something? I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention. I was trying to read the side of it. Georgia Northeastern. Where are they? So based in Washington, AGS, but apparently they've got a hub in Marietta, and this is downtown Woodstock, Georgia. So they're rolling this little thing through there. So we're going to put... I'm assuming this is a power unit they borrowed. I don't know what Georgia Northeastern is either. And my wife was just trying to be helpful. And she's like, oh, train. I'll film the train real quick. And good for her. She very stably filmed a short line.
Most impressive on the stabilization.
Yeah, I was proud of her. She decided to tell me this like at 11 o'clock at night, like we're lying down. And she's like, oh, look at this. Wait, you did what? You caught a short line? I'm so proud of you.
I knew it before you did.
I know. She told me, she's like, yeah, here's what I told Mike. I'm like, well, of course you tell Mike. So, yeah, you found out before me. Okay, so. Let's see what this one is. Oof, I don't even know what that is. I think that's also Georgia Northeastern, to be honest. It looks like it says the same thing on the side. We better screenshot just to be safe. Export a frame here. Well, you wouldn't be able to read that if you hadn't seen the previous one. And look at all the leaves that are on the side of that thing, on the intakes. Goodness. All right.
So far, we have no recognition from anyone.
Nope. And then there's the Columbia and Cowlitz Railroad again. Actually, we've already typed and centered that one. So we're going to go over to here. I'm going to copy it. Whoops, if we can get it to play along. There we go. Get it to play the home game. All right. I think we're going to shorten up this whole clip here. I do want to get some of it coming through town, and I do want to get the horn. So I think we're going to shorten it to about right there. What do you think, Mike?
Why are we shortening it?
Because it has a lot of lead up that doesn't really give you action. Do you think it builds
Okay.
anticipation? I don't know. Audience, would you rather see it shorter if you're doom scrolling the YouTubes? You tell me. I don't know. I'm in favor of shortening it, I think, which means we'd start it here. Yeah, I think that's better.
Was that the first horn blast?
No.
AGS, what kind of horn is that?
Train horn.
See, that would be my answer. A train horn.
The problem is, if I make it that short, I'm actually running the graphics over each other, so I can't make it quite that short. So I have to do it slightly before that blast. I'm going to take this part out. Then we're going to make sure the graphics line up.
Don't lose the blast.
I'm not.
Okay.
No losing blasts. It's a Christie. It's always a Christie, right? Alright, so then we're going to fade the audio in here. We're going to fade the audio out right at the end. Okay, and then we're going to have to change this graphic because it says double heritage in a hailstorm. So we'll put short line. Nope. I accidentally started doing commands rather than changing the graphic. So let's fix that.
AGS, so it's a field trip to Woodstock, is it?
See what happens here. Okay, the problem is I accidentally moved my mask. So we are going to undo that. We're going to try this again. And we're going to have to figure out how to do that.
This is why we have Casey, because if y'all had me to do it, it would not happen. Checking in with Warren to see if the Western Maryland has made it to Tunnel Hill yet.
There's definitely something not right with that mask. We're going to keep going back until we see. There was that cut, right? That was the previous cut. Let's see if we redo the previous edit. Nope. It's just the selection. Okay, so we're not going to cut anything. Actually going to try and undo that marker. But clear marker is not an option. Why is it not going to let me clear a marker? Clear in and out. There we go. But it's still not cooperating. See, the whole graphic, the entire time, it has double heritage. I'm not sure why. This is what makes YouTube somewhat difficult. Well, we're going to stick with that. We're going to make in a hailstorm part of it slide in. So yeah, we're just going to go with urban short line. And Woodstock. Woodstock, Georgia. Let's try that again. Alright, we'll play and see what happens. Close enough. Now when you watch the short later, you'll go, that's the part that made Casey want to drink. I'm going to move this identification back so people can see what they're working with. Yeah, well, I think all of these probably need to move back a bit. So there's Columbia Cowlitz, and this one's coming in. There we go. And that's it.
And an update for those of you chasing the Western Maryland, he is facing a northbound at Tunnel Hill. So he is not pulled into Tunnel Hill, and there's a northbound coming up from Dalton.
Okay, and then the audio, this time I'm going to be watching it back. We're going to be watching the audio, and I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to change the scene a little bit to the desktop so you guys can see I'm watching this over here. So we're going to see how loud it is. We want it to, it can get up to the orange, but if it actually clips, you'll see it light up here at the top with red.
Oh,
Yep,
I
it's
saw
right
red.
there. Yep. The hiss of that air hose. So we're going to bring the audio gain down just slightly. I'm going to try that again. It hit it right about here. See, it did not clip anymore. There, and now it won't be super annoyingly loud when you guys watch it on the short. So we're going to export this guy real quick. Shorts live. And then, yeah, that's probably fine. We'll do that. Call this sequence. Short line. I keep hitting keyboard shortcuts. Notice I didn't change the colors or anything on this one. This is going to be just as we filmed it, or as she filmed it. A lot of movement, so you see that's a bigger file, is taking longer. So the more movement there is in a video file, the more space it takes, because that's how video compression works. Here's the final. He did not wave at her.
How dare he?
She's a cute little freckly woman. I think he would wave at her.
In a yellow car?
She was with her dad in the pickup truck. Looks very much like Production 6, actually. Okay, so now that one's done. We're going to schedule that real quick.
Did we put the different engine names or locomotive names?
We did.
Aren't you fast like a bunny?
I know.
Amazing.
So let's
On
throw
your
that
second
one up real
day,
quick.
you're doing so well.
I know. I'm so proud of me. And then it did recognize it's a short because it's vertical and it's short. And actually, the file name is pretty close. Short lines appears to be the hashtag. This one's been used by more channels. That one's been used in more videos. Short line railroads. I think we'll go with short line. Well, why not do both? Because again, there's no audio for YouTube to understand. Oops, we're going to try and do not Woodstock. We'll do Woodstock. Did it not do Woodstock? Woodstock, Georgia. There we go. That'll work.
Are you sure? Could be Tennessee.
Rail, what do you call them? Rail moms?
Rail moms.
Moms or mums?
Excuse me, mums. M-U-M-S. Mums. Rail mums. I got a little froggy tonight.
I don't know why my... Oh, I'm bumping my trackpad. Here we go. There we go. And then there's nothing AI generated in here. And we're going to go through the rest of our certifications. Nobody's doing anything bad. No controversial issues. We're not running for office. We're not hateful or derogatory. Not showing firearms, war, death, or tragedy. I'm not going to put another related video. Well, technically we could, but I think it's going to want long videos. You know what? We'll put today's video because it is related. Why not? No copyright issues. We are going to make it public. We're going to schedule this one. Mike, when are you live again?
Tomorrow at 5:30.
All right, so are you live Saturday?
Yes, we're chasing the steam train depending on weather because it says thunderstorms.
All right, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to do this Sunday while we're at dinner. And where is New York? New York. There are no kids in this video, So we're good. So we're scheduled for Sunday while we're at dinner. How's that? After our next live.
That's a long time to wait.
It is. And I would send you this link, but it won't do anything. You won't be able to see it. You'll just have to remember. So, that's all done. Okay, we're going to skip to another thing real quick, and I'm going to show you something that we've been working on. And some of you are aware of this. Most of you are not. The audio is not as important, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit, but we're going to show you some of what we're going to put up here. So, in October 30th, that's how fast I am at editing, Mike filmed the 911, and this is on a 360, so if it looks odd, you'll see some movement, and you'll see some things happening, and you'll see other cameras come by. I edited all this in a 360. So Mike got to do the media event with a media pass for Norfolk Southern of the 911 training train. This is what they use to film or to train first responders, etc. You'll get to see some of the 360 work here, and I'll explain what's happening here in a minute. I'll show you kind of how this gets edited. So they teach them about all the different connections and controls and all the different valves and all the things they can do. So they have all kinds of equipment on this train. And it's to train the first responders how to deal with a rail emergency. Norfolk Southern's extremely proud of this train. Mike, you want to talk a little bit about that?
That train has its own housing, and it travels throughout the 22,000 mile track area, and it goes in different cities, and then they do the scheduling, and the first responders, it goes for about 4 days. It's just rolling session after session, and it's really, really interesting to go through to see just how many things that could make a difference. And if you're going to tackle a train that's had a problem, after listening to just one of the many, many seminars that they did or the walkthroughs, just doing the wrong thing could cause quite a catastrophic problem. So they go through it just from what to expect when they open the doors on the side of the locomotive to the different hatches. And it's really cool to go inside of the tankers and to get an idea just how large they are, and then all the different things that correspond.
Yeah, so there's a ton of footage. We have, like, Mike was there for a long time. I think we have like 3 linear hours of footage. So part of the challenge has been trying to put this together. But the other part of it is, let me see if I can find this for you. I can't recall. Mike, do we have one of these cameras handy?
You want the 360?
Yeah, hand it to me real quick, please. Oops, sorry, I just bumped you guys in the microphone. So we have a couple of these, and I don't think you guys can see, but on the shelves over here, it's a little bit out of frame, but that's where we store all the other equipment. So we have like 7 or 8 360 cameras. This one has the cover branding on it.
It unsnaps at the top. You trying to take the cover off?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. There we go. It is a... Can't think of the name of these things.
Expensive.
Insta360. That's what it is. Insta360. That's what we're using in that area. So if we type in Insta360 Studio, there we go. The reason why I need to look at the camera is I couldn't think of the name of the software.
In here, I thought you just wanted to see the camera. Silly me.
Yeah, really killing it here in the studio today, guys. That's what I'm like after a long day at work. I'm so much more like fresh and intelligent on a Sunday when I haven't been dealing with work all day. And we're going to try and go through recent projects. So bear with me 1 second while I bring this off the screen and try and import the project files. And while we're doing that, Mike, you want to catch us up on the discussion? Is there anybody on location yet?
The only person on location is Warren. Is at Tunnel Hill, and about 30 miles north of Attalla And 10 miles south of Irondale, AGS had a track split in Argo, Alabama today because of the heat.
A track split. So yeah, everybody's been seeing on social media like the roads buckling and everything. But that's cool. I've never seen a track split from the heat, but I know that can happen. So we do have the files. It looks like I have unfortunately deleted the source files because these things are massive, and I mean like they make a regular video seem tiny, even a 4K video. These are not 4K. These are 5.6K, and there's two lenses recording simultaneously, and so the output of them is massive. And what I'm going to do, since we've deleted the original footage, I'm going to give you an idea of what this comes in looking like. We're going to open something that Mike has recorded that I have not rendered yet. So let's pick one. This should be entertaining. So I know you guys can't see it at the moment because I'm trying to drag the software down, but this software is very, very angry. Very slow. So I haven't not yet managed to move it to the other screen. And it's trying to remind me that I can edit this in Premiere. Yes, I know.
And what are you going to show us now?
Yeah,
there's Mike calling for help.
Yeah, this is actually, this one you guys saw 2 weeks ago in the live. This was, and I know you can't see it yet. I'm still trying to get it to move. And this program is really struggling. Matter of fact, it's struggling so much, I think I'm going to close Premiere. Yeah, okay. So we have closed our projects in Premiere. And we're going to show you eventually. There we go, starting to respond now. I'm going to show you how to edit, or why it's so hard to edit these things. So this was editing that footage. There are 3 different video clips, and then the total, the output was 11 gigs, and then almost 1, and then 6 gigs of video. So we're talking huge, huge files here. And this one is much shorter. This is Mike calling me, tech support. And you guys saw this, as I said, Sunday 2 weeks ago. This was a little one's going on the next blooper reel. If you see it mirroring, that's how slow the software is running. But this is the video.
Now it says start recording, so it started right over. So I gotta stop it.
So Mike is trying to talk to me about the 360 camera.
Now it says start recording, so it started right over. So I gotta stop it. It says.
So this is actually 360 degrees. So this 360 cam can look at a particular area. We can show both lenses at the same time. You can actually see over here what it sees. We can zoom in and out. We can make it follow a person. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do with this 360 footage. As a result, that also means that when we're actually trying to edit it, it is a nightmare because it is also, we have to choose each angle. So as Mike moves the camera around.
Now it says start recording, so it started right over, so I gotta stop it.
So I'm actually going to mute the audio. And I'm not sure my computer can actually keep up with this. As I said last week, I have a new computer for this, but I haven't set it up yet. But you'll actually be able to rotate this video. This is kind of the Tiny World version of what it sees. So we can rotate around, we can show a specific angle, we can have it follow a person, we can have it follow a train go by, but editing this takes hours and hours and hours. So I think just editing those 3 files, I probably have about 6 hours of editing into that. Because each time that Mike is moving, he's walking, he's moving the camera. So I'm actually having to fix the focal point where it's showing you the actual output. But anyway, that program is massive, and it is angry. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open a recent project so I can get my settings back together. I'm going to open probably... Let's do the Southern. Because that's going to be a similar kind of format. Let's open another massive file. So the short version is I've already edited these 360 videos together. We also have all of Mike's static files, the ones where he was filming from the side of the tracks with a camera that he wasn't carrying or that he was moving at a different pace. And so all of that stuff is brought together, and there's a program and there's no sequence yet. All right, we're going to start a new one. And so we're going to try and assemble this video, but I'm going to show you some of what he caught that day. These are the raw, unedited videos. Oh, another train coming by. Take a quick aside here for the live cam, for the bird cam. Hold on. Sounds to me like it's probably going northbound. I think it's northbound. And you can hear the horn, but the camera's not yet shaking. That's another good indication.
And there is no update from Warren yet. Down in Tunnel Hill.
He must have sent this one north.
This would have been the northbound that he was waiting on. Kid, how are you doing down there in Dalton? Has he made a trek side down to you?
You know what? I think this one's also... No, there it is. Okay. That must be the local. I think that is the local. You can hear him accelerating. I'm sorry, guys. I turned off the sound there. He just idled up a bit, so he must have been sitting on the siding, actually, I think, Mike. Because he's accelerating right now. You're just basically going to hear a train running on rails. There's not much sound there because he already finished what he was doing. Anyway, back to this. So Mike had gotten the media pass. He'd moved all over. He filmed everything. They open up all the doors. They show everything. You can see the firefighters are over here from Chattanooga Fire Department. Other fire departments around the area as Mike gets to walk around. He is actually, I think Mike, yep, there you are. Mike was in the cab. We have all that footage. And there's the 360 Mike's carrying on the tripod. So he got to go all around, film everything. Matter of fact, you guys are probably going to want to see that footage, so we'll skip up that momentarily. Let's bring in the walk. You also got to go in the classroom where they're actually teaching everybody what to do. He didn't go in. He didn't actually film during the class itself.
And we did film one of the two classrooms. All
Yeah.
of them empty, but so you can see what the setting's like. Me crunching on the rocks.
Yeah, I don't know that this is the one where you go on board. No, these are kind of the hero shots. I think it's the next one where you're on board. Okay, yep, here we go. It's Mike walking along. So the movement is from me. This is me moving the 360. It's a big feller. Mike, that's a narrow walkway, isn't it?
Yeah, especially for non-skinny people. I had to kind of push the door to get by.
If you're a full-figured man,
That's a good phrase.
it's a challenge.
Hello, rail friends. What's cooler than climbing up in the 911 locomotive?
I was excited.
I'm not even sure who Mike's narrating to because I'm not sure the live. I guess you're yelling down at the live camera, which you can see off the screen right here. That's the live. A big tripod, big stabilized tripod. Fluid head. Very fancy tripod. Costs like 9 months worth of YouTube revenue.
And it did.
I just heard a DPU right by on the one outside on the bird cam, so I guess there wasn't just a solo. So maybe that wasn't the local. I don't think they've ever had a DPU in the local.
No. There's the conductor side
Yep.
and the guy with all the toys.
Yep. So there's a lot of moving around. Why am I moving back and forth? Part of what I'm trying to do here with the 360 is I'm trying to get static shots that I can edit later in Premiere. So I'm not looking to edit the movement. I'm looking to edit specific moments of this. So when I put it together, it kind of tells the story. So when I'm editing the 360, I'm thinking of the final video and what do I need to actually output. So like right here, you can see Mike is not even doing it. This is me doing all the pans by editing the 360 software. So everything that I wanted to highlight and all the signs and everything, I am doing all this in production, in post-production. And you can see Mike is actually panning doing something else. I thought it was kind of funny getting Mike sitting in the conductor's seat doing his own filming. But while
Trying
he's
to be
using
steady.
while he's using a phone, I am filming him with the 360. And when Mike is trying to be steady, he bites his tongue. So you'll see him do that.
Nice.
It's part of your stabilization technique.
Yes, that it is.
I tuck my elbows against my chest, and you bite your tongue. It works. There's the real moment shirt. And you see there's a little bit of an artifact right there on the left side of his shirt as he moves around. It looks like it's warped a little bit. That is the line between the two lenses. So the software tries to figure out where the edge of those two lenses come together, and that's one of the things I'm having to edit around. But hey, there's Mike in the engineer's seat, so why not film that?
Y'all look so excited.
He's talking to
Who
the
gets to drive
firefighters.
first? Volunteers.
It's just fun. I had a fun time editing this part of it, obviously. We'll skip forward. Oh, Mike comes out. Hold on. You'll see just how narrow this is. Sorry for the quick spin. I know what I'm editing, so I knew I was going to edit this out. So there's the NS guy giving the explanation. The weirdness that you can see on the leg of the tripod is right between the lenses. It's not actually trying to delete the tripod. Some cameras will delete like a selfie stick. That's not what's happening. He's holding the camera exactly sideways, and so what he's seeing is between the output of the two lenses, and the camera's trying to make sense of it.
And me trying to get down the deal.
Yeah, I more or less just watched this because seeing Mike get down this ladder was its own bit of amusement. Because that ladder is not forgiving when you're holding a relatively heavy tripod. But you did it gracefully, Mike. And there's the oddest shot you're ever going to see of the tail end of the 911 unit. But anyway, yeah, I decided to spin around and get a little bit of the side shot. I knew later that I could zoom this in and remove the top of Mike's head because he's carrying it up. But I thought, well, I can make that shot slightly more usable later. And then this part obviously would be edited out, and this is where we would scoop over to the other one. So anyway, point being, pretty cool. Now he goes down to some of the classroom stuff. Go down and show you a little bit more of this. Oh, this is good. We actually have better audio of this as well. He's explaining everything to them. So if you were extremely into trains, it is raining.
That turbo's gear driven until it gets around about Mach 5, and then it's building up exhaust pressure that starts pulling it. actually have a clutch inside of it.
There you go. He's explaining the operation of the turbo, which is gear driven. Makes it more of a supercharger, which is cool. I did not know they were gear driven, so it's not. He said until it gets to notch 5, and then it's got a clutch. So it starts out as a supercharger, meaning it's powered off the engine power until it gets to a high enough boost pressure, and then they release the clutch in it, and then it's a turbo driven off exhaust gas. So that's cool. Something I did not know even while editing this video because I was not paying attention to the audio. Right here you can see this thing. That little thing is a stereo audio recorder, and we have the files from that. And so I have them. Let's see if I can match up the time. I think it's this file.
Liquid down there that may still be burning even after you extinguish it.
So what we do in the production is I'm going to edit in this audio file and match it up with his video files, and that way you can actually hear what they're saying. There's a lot of audio production that goes into it too in a separate program called Audition.
If I got any better, I'd finally be like you.
Might be, Mike.
Just says put that thing in notch 8 and you'll see full horsepower.
That's right. And it's actually a real turbo at that point. But anyway, the point being, we edit in the audio. That's why some of the videos that we shoot have really good audio. This is what Mike was doing, not with the 360. This is what he was filming on his camera. You can see it's a little bit grainy, and that's because it's dark inside this. So I had already done a lot of work on the 360 to brighten up that footage. You can see it gets a lot brighter when he goes in the cab. That's all in editing. I haven't done anything to this yet, so the graininess is just part of the raw filming. That's something I'll end up editing later in Premiere with the Lumetri color and whatnot. But when you see Mike holding the camera and biting his tongue, he's showing you the view that you actually get as the conductor. And what can you see? So don't stand directly in front of a train as it starts to operate, especially if you're at Bootleggers Crossing in a Subaru, sir. This is a Wendy's. Notch 8, never late. Yeah, that's a good one. So anyway, all of this production, some of Mike's hand. If you want to replicate Mike's hand for any kind of palm reading, there's your opportunity. Actually, Mike does a really good job, but it's funny to see some of the stuff that gets edited out. There's the horn. NS911, it says, I guess just like an airplane, and in case you forget which one you're in on the radio, that's effectively your tail number. The very studious members of the Chattanooga Fire Department. Who else was there, Mike? Weren't there some North Georgia departments and whatnot there?
I think the group that I was with was all Chattanooga. They had all the different fire trucks and whatnot there.
You want to tell people where you were?
Well, we were behind the 911 center on a siding next to the impound lot where you normally are not allowed to go for the Chattanooga Police Department.
Which
off
is
of
very close,
Highway.
very close to the DeButts yard.
Yep.
Female firefighter. Everybody's getting their class, so we have all the audio from this. That's why I'm just kind of skipping through it, but they're telling everybody what's happening here. And we have the audio recording from this, so I'm going to lay over the audio with the video so that you guys can kind of hear what they're training. This lady is their media relations person, which I think she went out on maternity leave right after that, didn't she, Mike?
Honestly, I don't remember.
I think that was the thing. I think this was one of her last ones, and then she went out on leave. There you go. This is a thing you never get to see anymore.
2, 3.
So this board is part of what I use in editing. And part of what I'm doing is when I line this up in the color, I can choose my white balance and make sure that all the scenes are the same color, because Mike will put this up there. It also helps me when you hear this clap.
2, 1.
That thing creates a spike in the audio, which is how I can line it up with the audio tracks. Since the audio doesn't have video, that little spike is what helps me line them up, and that's why production uses those. that little clap is the sound that you hear. And sometimes in the blooper video, where Mike gets really excited and he's wearing his headphones, there's a Heritage unit coming. Matter of fact, we'll just play that little segment because I'll explain it. This is the thing that makes me laugh, and nobody ever understands why I'm laughing. But I'll show you why I'm laughing. So bear with me 1 second while we go back to our channel content, and I'll show you the bloopers.
How well he remembers where some things are.
If it's stuff that makes me laugh with Mike, why not? It's this one here. Oh, I've got it muted. Hold on. It'd be important for it not to be muted. So here is Mike using this board. So the reason why I laugh every time is sometimes Mike would forget to use the board. And so he would yell clap, which actually does help me line up the audio. And so if he was running late or forgot his board, which we did one time, we left it in Chickamauga, Georgia for like 2 days one time, sitting on a boxcar.
Exactly, right on the knuckle.
Yep. So if he had forgotten the board, he would yell clap. Well, Mike was so excited about this Heritage coming around the corner that he forgot he had just clapped it, forgot he was holding the board, and yells clap after clapping it. So if you've watched this thing and you see, like, there's one of the podcast episodes where we're watching this together, and I'm just laughing like hysterically at that. It's because he was so excited he forgot he had just clapped it, and he yells clap. So it's funny to me because I know what he's doing.
Casey, 229F, the Virginia, North Dalton. He's going south. Green lights. He's coming around the curve. Just gave the horn to start. 29F, the Virginia, going south through Dalton. 2 cameras, 1 muff, and we're going to get a green signal drop as he goes by. Here we go. That's him.
That's one very excited Mike. So what he's referring to, you can hear him telling me the production details, which is some of what's written on that board. It helps me a lot in production. So I know at that moment he's running 2 cameras, so I've got 2 video feeds. He says 1 muff. He's referring to the camera. Do you have it with you?
Mm-hmm.
It's in Mike's little kit. It's a linear PCM recorder, but this on top, it looks like an earmuff, which we refer to as a muff. It's technically called a dead cat, but dead cat is not an easy thing to yell if a train's coming around the corner. But it looks basically like an earmuff. So that's what he's yelling is 2 cameras, 1 muff. He's referring to this. So he's saying there's an audio file that matches this camera. So he is often saying these things on camera. He's talking to me so that I'll know what to do in the studio. And so when I'm editing that video, actually I did edit the video of the Virginian, I knew what to expect and how to line it up. But there's some behind the scenes for you. That's what Mike's actually talking about. Let's see if we can get the one where you're actually in the classroom real quick. Oh, here we go. That was a lucky click.
And there are 2 classrooms on the train. This is the second one.
Yeah, this is
We have this all to ourselves.
Mike got confused by this later, but this all slides behind a boxcar door, and it hides everything. So
Yes.
Mike saw it later, and he actually thought they dropped off some cars because he just sees boxcars, and there's nothing visible. He doesn't see the house. He doesn't see the training room. And look at how nice it is. It's got chair rail and everything. Got a fire extinguisher on the back of the door. It's got fake windows.
Look in these windows.
Yeah, it's
I
got.
will show you inside here in a moment.
Yeah. We got TVs mounted. Got the flag. I don't know what the
One
other
of
flag
the
is.
2 classrooms on board. The Southern serves the South.
I've seen that photo before. Southern Railway poster.
And this past winter, while it was not doing classes, they upgraded all the audio, TVs, everything. Well, it has its own hangar, if you will, where it's kept.
That's probably when she was on maternity leave too, because I think she went out. This was in October. I think we said she went out on maternity leave then. Since she's big in all of this work, they probably took that opportunity. But you notice it has recessed lights in the ceiling. I mean, it's fancy. It's got a ceiling fan. This is quite the car. So a really luxurious environment. But anyway, all this right here gets covered with the door of the boxcar. So they shut it, and that just all disappears. So later on, Mike saw the train go by, and he's like, they've changed cars. The classrooms are gone, and he didn't realize they've just slid the door shut. Well, this is cool. A century of service. Norfolk and Western Railway. That's neat. So they have, oh, here we go. What's this one? The New York Central system with a streamliner. Free 1947 vacation guide if you mail to this address. So there you go. That'll tell you exactly when that was happening. Vacation all the way. New luxury coaches. So I guess those were Ullman's, I guess. It's like the, what is it, the Silver Crescent?
The Crescent City.
Crescent City, that's what it is.
From the Southern.
Oh, it has one real window. I guess the one's right by the doors. So anyway, that's one of the classroom cars. All right, we're almost done with tonight's live. Just wanted to kind of show you guys what's happening. Kind of zip through some of this, some of the training. Because later, if you're interested in hearing the actual content of the training, then you can. You see them come out.
And what they do is they go to the classroom first, then they break into 3 groups, and then they work. One group goes each of the 3 areas, and they rotate through it.
And Mike is, I think, addressing the live here because he was doing a live at the same
Hello,
time.
rail friends.
Nope,
Thanks
intro.
for being with Casey and I. I can't tell you how cool and how exciting today is. We're
Hey,
with
Crash.
the Hazmat training team for Norfolk Southern, the coolest train on the planet, other than next to the OCS, the Office Car Special. But we met Heather earlier.
Heather,
Some
that's
people
her
have
name.
unique pets like a pet monkey. Some people have old restored Corvettes. But she welcomed us into her train today, and all the trainers. It is so cool. I can't even begin to tell you all in words. So, if you're ready, let's go ahead and climb aboard the 911 engine where you, I, Casey, all of us have stood along that track for countless hours. Oh, where's the report? Oh, it's a mile out. Oh, it's coming around. Oh, it's stopped for a crew change. Right here it is with you, with I, and how exciting. So come on, let's go up and get on board the 911.
All right, so you'll notice that that was out of order, right? They are actually closing up, but Mike's doing an intro. So what exactly is happening there? Mike doesn't always film things in order, and so how does Casey keep this straight? This is all written in Mike-ish,
That's just some of it.
which is kind of like English. So these are Mike's notes, and so he will write down for me on a legal pad what the train was. So this one, I just picked a random one. Actually, this was right after that. November 22nd, it was a Wednesday, train 287. He's chasing NS 8114, the Norfolk Southern Heritage. He tells me which cameras he used, the size of the file, that there were 2 cameras plus audio, filmed CSX southbound while waiting, CSX crossing the Diamond, colorful train, blah, blah, blah. Then he'll tell me he caught NS 8114 as the 3rd train in this footage in Dalton. Finally, container train, 2 locomotives, train 287, and then he chases it, and he says, it's going here, it's 248 miles to the destination. There's a scanner chatter before and after the train, blah, blah, blah. So he writes down all the notes, and then he'll tell me, basically, and I did the intro after this train. So when I'm piecing it together, I read the Mike-ish, and I go through the footage, and I assemble everything. And so then Mike does his footage. So here's Mike nonchalantly leaning on the nose, giving us his outro.
Sit back, get ready. Casey
Oh,
and
still an
I
intro.
are so excited to share this with you.
So there's his intro. So he probably does the outro around the same time. He often will do intro and outros together. And you don't see them that way because that's not how I put them together. But that's how it actually was filmed. There's a lot better audio of this when he puts the thing in there. Oh, Mike.
See if we get to show him the inside of the tanker car real quick.
Yeah, that's not on this one. That's
Oh,
on.
darn.
Hang on, that's on the other camera. Let's see. Hang on 1 second. I think it's this one. Yep, here we go. See, I'm organized. I just can't find things under pressure on a live, but here it is. This is what you just saw Mike filming. This is the other camera. This is Mike not falling down the stairs, which is good. And there's the tanker. Usually it doesn't have a floor and a bench seat, as I understand it.
No, it doesn't.
There's all the valves and everything. They're explaining what the different numbers mean. And the NS people were not only tolerant of us filming, they were actually very nice, very welcoming, and very happy to show off their pride and joy. So yeah, he explains all of this, and we'll edit a lot of this audio later, give you a better idea of what they're talking about. So if you also want to be trained on the inner workings and all the valves, you really want to nerd out on valves, this is your opportunity. So we'll edit all this audio in Audition. And this is where they explain everything. But see, you can see the door right here. That's what slides across the training rooms and just disappears. And they have basically one of everything on this train. And we have a walk along the side of it that I think is in this 360. It's long. It's longer than you would think. You walk down it at one point. Yeah, here it is. It's amazing I remember this. I added this on November 12th. I added this 7 months ago, but I still remember the order of all this stuff. Oh, Western Maryland, just through Dalton. So it was correct, Mike. Fist bump.
You did good.
We did good. I can't believe I spotted one. I beat
Just
you
found
guys.
something else.
I beat you guys to a heritage spot while filming a live in the studio. Anyway, long train, really cool. Lots of footage. So we're going to end up dropping all this in and making it. We won't make you suffer through that this evening, but we did want to show you what's coming up and what I'm working on and kind of behind the scenes and how it works and the audio of the training.
That one's got the two side glasses on. On a locomotive, there's a little digital readout above the fuel tank that tells you how much fuel's in there. Use it, don't use that. That little gauging device that's between the two side glasses, you'll never see it again.
So he's explaining how you can tell if it's full or not, etc. So obviously that audio is pretty rough. You can hear the low end tones, you can hear all the things, and we'll clean all that up. We use various filters and we'll accentuate his voice and we'll lay it over the video, and then magically you'll just hear it. And it's going to be some of our early videos, Mike, they were extensive. We had a lot of audio tracks on them. I wonder if we have anything handy I could show real quick. Let's look at one of our completed videos. And we would use, in the early ones, we'd use 3 or 4 different audio tracks because we did not yet have all the software and hardware that we have now. That makes this much easier. And we would piece together multiple audio tracks. Let's find one. Santa Train, probably. Let's see what this was. This was a military train. That one didn't have as much.
Yeah, it was the dash and go train.
Yeah, there was a steam one. The helicopter one had quite a bit. The Virginian. Here's the Christmas train, the first one. There's a double heritage. This one had some audio files in it. Let's see what that looks like. Double heritage. Final. Let's see how how this one opens. We're going to try this live and cross our fingers. Project was saved. It's going to be converted. That's fine. Okay, yeah. Looks like most of that's still intact. It's finding all the media files. That's just magic. If you keep everything sorted. Save the project. There we go. So, there's lots happening with the audio. Over here you can see just how many different audio tracks are playing at the same time, all the different colors. And I'm using colors to identify different audio sources so I know what's happening with them. And so over here, I'm actually showing where Mike is going. So I'll show you this transition real quick. So he's chasing one unit, or he's chasing the doubled heritage. That's what it is. And so as he's going through, I am showing a transition that we've made in Google Earth to show him where he's moving to, and then you'll be able to see all these audio tracks. And these are things you don't pick up on ordinarily, but some of them will have background noise or wind or whatever, and so there's little gain adjustments throughout, and there's all these things to try and make the audio come out clearly. So if you watch our production videos on a TV, you turn up your surround sound, some of these train sounds are really good. And we've actually considered doing like a long video of like 12 hours just of train sounds that people could sleep to. Some people find the train sounds really soothing, and we have tons of extremely high quality train sounds. It's even easier to edit if you're not trying to sync it to video. So it's a quick thing to roll out.
And an update from Brian just sent in to us. The ACL, which is on E303, is just went north through Wildwood.
All right. Through Wildwood. All right.
If
That's
Brian rushes, he'll get home before it goes through Cowan.
Yeah. Okay, so it's going out of the frame.
We also caught this great unreleased footage of the Wabash going through Dalton right past the historic freight depot. We hope you enjoy this. It is leading, and we have it now.
There you go, Tara. All right, quick explanation of what you're seeing here. So there's the Wabash coming in. It cuts to a second angle. So I've timed that to where you can see it. Now, if I hide this, you can see that it actually is still the same position in the other camera, but there's a slightly wider angle that allows us to get it where he pans that one. So the video tracks change, but the audio stays consistent. And that's why you see the video change, but you don't hear any audio. We've unlinked the audio from the video files. So when you watch it, it transitions, but the audio stays the same. And so if we hide that panning camera and we watch what happens, it will not look like that. Actually, I stand corrected. That's a completely, those are 3 different cameras, because this one never even panned. So this is one camera, this is a camera, and then that's a different one entirely. So he had one pointing to the left, one pointing to the right, and then one that he panned. So when there's 3 cameras, we stitch them together, and magically you see the train drive by and the audio is consistent. But that is not what happened. And it's just magic, Mike.
It is.
It's just 3 different cameras. So anyway, there you go, guys. A little bit different content today. Yeah, the horn definitely has gotten worse. It sounded much better back in the day.
It's called old age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Wabash was really good back then. This is Jesse. That's right. Quick night sighting. This was the Wabash as well. And
This is where we got the idea to night film.
yep, we had lights.
Back when we started off with just a couple lights. that we had in our hands.
That's the old graphics too. Don't use those anymore. I don't even know what's happening here in all this, but look how many edits there are. Including one that's labeled trash, which means Mike deleted it, but I recovered it off his deleted part of his phone.
You can hide nothing.
You cannot hide from me. If you accidentally delete photos of a train, I will retrieve them from your phone. All right, rail friends, next we got Mike giving you an intro from Dalton. He catches it at night in the rain. This is the beginning of the double header series. Then we have some more footage for you, including crossing Tin Bridge with the drone. So check this out.
Hello, rail friends. We got down to...
Yeah, this is the, I know why there's all those cuts. It was because driving through Dalton. But the drone footage at Tin Bridge was pretty neat. Oh gosh, it was storming. I remember that.
This is with Jesse at 3 in the morning.
He was 3 in the morning. I think that was your latest catch ever, wasn't it?
Heading to Elkhart, Indiana.
That and the one out there in the woods outside Etowah.
Yeah. Man, there's a lot happening. There's the water
Family
tower.
lines.
Yep. Here it is, where we took the limo that day. Illinois Terminal sounded healthy. That's at Citico. Right?
Jersey.
Jersey, that's right. Let's see, there's some drone footage in here. There's a lot that happens in that video.
At some point, you were doing the conference call
there it
and
is.
running the drone.
Oh, yeah, I was. So I actually rode my
And the
motorcycle. Yeah, I rode my Goldwing to this because it has a trunk. And I'd throw my drone in the back of it. But I'm on a conference call with my boss and a dude in India. And I'm standing on the side of Access Road in Chattanooga wearing a motorcycle helmet. And it was hot. I don't remember when this was,
Didn't
but
the
it was...
popo stop to see if you were okay?
Yeah, the cops came by and said, "You okay?" And I gave him a thumbs up, as the cops always check on motorcyclists, which is nice. Chattanooga cops are great. Hamilton County will beat you with a nightstick, but Chattanooga cops are great. Let's not repeat that in front of Hamilton County, maybe. But anyway. You know what? That's going to end up giving me a copyright strike.
I was just wondering.
So we're going to watch this quick silent film. But yeah, anyway, the point being, I was filming this with the drone and on a conference call this whole time, which is why there's that cut there, because at one point I had to look down and unmute my phone, and it was right as the drone was about to hit a tree, so I had to reposition the drone really quickly. And it's right at Tin Bridge, but it was cool footage. I like the little pan, I sped it up a little bit to make it more enjoyable
And
to
you
watch.
I'm going to say you get the tugboat under there too.
Yeah, Mike wanted me to leave in the tugboat. He really enjoyed that, so that's why there's that edit I had to put back in tugboat footage for Mike. We would go through production meetings. We always do as we go through the rough cuts of these videos, and Mike gives a lot of directorial input over what he wants to have, and I make it so. That's basically how it works. So I have an initial, I make the initial plan based on what he gives me. And we go through and I say, now do you want this or not? Want this? And then he'll say, no, we want the tugboat. Okay. He's like, and then there's a really cute kid, or there's a dog, or there's a whatever. And so we go through and we edit. But anyway, yep, there you go. That's more of the magic in the studio. And the music's almost over.
Well, rail friends, it's 3 a.m., but it was worth the wait. Illinois Terminal and the Wabash going south here in Dalton. And guess who's with me at 3 o'clock in the morning? Come on over, Jesse. Say hi to everybody. Jesse's trading some things. What's up, you guys? Hanging out in the rain, in the fog, right here in Dalton, Georgia.
That was before he was Whistleboard Productions.
Normally he wouldn't get out at this hour.
Absolutely.
Yes, he did talk me into this.
Was it worth it?
It was absolutely. To see those two together was fantastic. And we're right underneath the virtual rail cam, so hi everybody that stayed up to watch. Thanks for being with
That's
both
another
of
camera.
us. Make sure you like, subscribe, send us
You can
comments.
see the camera in the background
Casey's
there.
Saying things, Rail Moments. Casey and I appreciate you. And good night.
So if you ever wondered, why does Mike always say Casey and I when Casey's never there? Because Casey's here. Casey's doing this.
Casey's always with me.
That's right. It may not be with him live, but I'm with him when I watch this back later and I have to edit it. It's always a smile when he says that.
Or let me make a mistake and the message comes across the phone.
That's right. There have been times. There was one time Mike was having a conversation with somebody who was just not getting whatever it is Mike was saying. He was using some colorful language, but I was watching the live and I could hear him. And I'm like panic calling him like a jealous ex, like Mike, you can hear yourself on the live, Mike.
Yeah, when we started this, I had no idea how far away you'd have to be before someone could not hear a phone call.
Those microphones are sensitive, man. They really are. So anyway, all right, we're right at the 2-hour mark. I have not yet eaten dinner, so I intend to go do that. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out in the studio. And don't forget, Sunday at 5:30 this week. It helped if I knew which buttons did what on this board here. There we go. Oh, there's the music. So Sunday at 5:30, we're going to go through your submissions from this week. So get them in. Get your catches in. You still got, what is today, Mike? Is this Wednesday?
It is.
You got three
Tomorrow's
more.
sale day.
3.5 more good days of rail fanning to get your catches in. We're going to send Mike back to sunny Ringgold, and we're going to close up here at the studio. I'm going to head home, grab some food.
Hey, right, just gave us the closing statement.
That's right. Because next time, Mike is going to see you.
At the next crossing.
That's right. For Mike and Casey here in the studio, you'll see Mike tomorrow. You'll